This episode of the Fight Within podcast is presented to you by Meguiar's. For over 115 years, Meguiar's has been carefully creating and producing advanced formulas with cutting-edge chemistry to deliver a show car perfect appearance. Whether you're showing on the fairway, finalizing your car for auction, or simply getting your beloved car ready for a weekend drive, Meguiar's is ready to help with their premium car care products to make every automotive surface look its absolute best. Meguiar's, reflect your passion. Make sure to visit them at meguiars.com.
What's up, guys, and welcome to another episode of the Fight Within podcast. This is our first episode of the new year.
2022.
So, 2022. Yeah, we have nothing to talk about. We'll see you guys next week.
Yeah, see ya.
Bye. Just playing. How's your New Year's? I know I texted you, and you're going out to a party and French Riviera, and
we actually took our private jet to
nice.
Some undisclosed location.
Yeah.
But no, we just hung out at my parents' house. My mom turned 60 earlier in the month, so we kind of just got to hang out with her because everyone was either out of town or sick or whatever. So we kind of just chilled. Kids stayed up till 11:30. They made it that long.
Sweet.
That was rough. But other than that, just super mellow. What about you?
We did the 9 o'clock. We did the East Coast time for New York, so we did the whole ball drop. Found it on
so much better
YouTube, and it was at 9.
Yeah, it's so much better.
The kids still stayed up a little bit after because we had friends over, but it was super short.
That's what I liked it. That's what, dude. I don't know how I used to go out and do all the other stuff. That sounds awful to me now.
You were young,
dude. Now I'm like, oh no, that sounds awful. No, thank you.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. I mean, it's just so you guys know too. We talked about the website and having the website up. It's up. It's not running. We haven't published it. We haven't announced anything, but it's created and it's super slow. So that's on me. And I got to fix it. I'll fix it. I was telling Ben yesterday, I'll fix it today and hopefully by Friday, which is what's today? I don't even know the date today.
Today's the 5th. So Friday's the 7th.
So the 7th or 8th for sure. We'll have it up, and I'll post something on social. We'll record. Maybe won't record, but we'll post something on social just to let everybody know. But it'll be super.
Nice.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, it'll be cool. There's a lot of things that I've wanted to do, and I think I'm thinking too much about it. I'm trying to make it look pretty and trying to make, get all the merch up there and all that stuff. Doesn't matter. Some of the merch right now is going to be super basic, I guess. Yeah. It'll be our logo, and then I know that you had mentioned.
Yeah, Dan's working on stuff. Yeah.
So we'll have it at some point, and maybe, I don't know. We haven't really discussed this in detail, but at some point we'll release some things. I don't know if it'll be once a month or little by little, but we'll for sure plan on getting new merch and getting new stuff out there for you guys. And
yeah, Dan's getting back into his rhythm. They had their second baby.
Yeah.
So they're finally. Yesterday I was on the phone with him for literally 50 minutes finalizing a bunch of hidden house stuff.
Sweet.
So he's back in the swing of things, but so I'm excited. He told me he should have stuff. That was until I had him do a bunch of stuff for hidden, corrections for hidden house. So hopefully in the next few days we'll have at least some the concepts for us to go through. Dude, I just randomly thought of this on the way here, but since we're on a podcast and the world's psychotic, I haven't looked too much in depth to it yet because I was just listening to something literally on the way here.
Yeah.
But it's so crazy. We obviously know we're living in an era of censorship, right? Whether it's media censoring things and they only want you to hear certain things, newspapers, internet, freaking the social media gurus of the world, all those people. And I just thought it was crazy that, again, I haven't looked into it, so if someone's going to fact check me, then I haven't looked into it. But I heard on the way here, I forget what I was listening to, something on the Sirius talk show something, and talking about how Joe Rogan, the last 2 doctors Joe Rogan had on his podcast have been fully wiped off YouTube. So the only way you can listen to it is either you have to find clips that people are resharing, or on Spotify, obviously, but like the actual YouTubes have been taken down of these doctors. And I just thought it was super interesting because obviously it has everything to do with COVID. And, you know, like some pretty well-known, highly credentialed doctors, but maybe not speaking the narrative that everyone wants them to, and now they're getting censored. Like, I just thought that, again, haven't looked it up, but on the way here, I was like, that's ironic that we're going to film an episode right now, or record, whatever you call it. And I'm like thinking, I was like, dude, that is so mind-blowing to me that we live in a time right now where people think that's cool. Or okay, not cool, that people think it's okay to just
cancel or censor.
To censor someone. You know, like what happened to the right of like your free speech?
I think people get too sensitive.
Well, for sure, but it's like,
and there's people in very powerful positions or high-ranking positions that agree with that culture or with that that way of thinking, and it's just not. You can't have a discussion anymore.
No.
Or even an argument.
An opinion.
But not even that. Like, it's okay to have healthy arguments. Like, if you disagree on something.
Yeah, I yelled at you right before this.
Yeah, I'm fine. Whatever. That's why I have some tears in my eyes. You guys can't see it. But it's, like that's fine. Argue it out. And then after, if two dudes can go into a cage and punch each other in the face and then shake hands and have a beer after.
Yeah.
Like, two grown men or women or whatever, two high-ranking officials.
Athletes.
Yes. Then if they can do it as humans, if you look at it solely from like a human being perspective, then you can too. Yeah. And it's okay to disagree. And I think that has gone out the window because people, once you get money and power and control, like that changes people.
Yeah. It's crazy.
It's scary.
Literally on our way to do this. A podcast, Joe Rogan, Fear Factor, MMA, UFC guy, like, has now gotten to a point where he's being censored. That is freaking amazing.
Someone was like, he's like the male Oprah.
Dude, seriously.
And it is, but, you know, Oprah worked for a network television show, and she was censored to a certain degree, and he has
Yeah, but now she's probably
freedom.
Censored.
Yeah. No, but I'm saying, as a podcast, you have all the freedom to say whatever you want.
Yeah, you can't cancel Joe Rogan. Like, I saw a meme something about that the other day. It's like, you can't cancel Joe Rogan. He's going
to be like the next, what's his name?
So freaking cool. Dude, if we got to the point where we got, Chuck Norris, if we got to the point where we got censored for something that we were sharing, I would be like,
probably doing
I'd be
something
so
right.
stoked. I'd be like, yes, we have made it.
Talking about that, like, not even censoring, I talked to our buddy George, who we had on the podcast. I saw him at your shop, and we got on the topic of Brendan Schaub. And Brendan Schaub, for you guys that don't know, is a former MMA fighter, now stand-up comedian, and has a few podcasts and is very successful. He was one of the reasons why I started the podcast. He used to train at our gym, and he got into podcasting, and he was pretty successful at it. So I was like, oh man, like there's a fighter like that I know, and I saw a transition in another field. So I was like, cool, that's motivating. I want to go do something like that. And for some reason, I was on YouTube last night, like researching different podcasts, like looks and feels and how to record better and all this stuff, right? Well, I ran into, I don't even want to say his name, but this guy's page, and it was like, oh, you know, this person trashes Brendan Schaub. So I clicked on it, and I was like, oh, that's funny, whatever. People want to hate on him for his success and whatnot. And then I dug a little bit deeper and started going down that rabbit hole. This dude's like whole page, he has made his name, is getting hundreds of thousands of views just on hating Brandon Schaub. It is so weird to me, talking about like censoring people.
Yeah.
He's given himself a platform on YouTube and hundreds of thousands. He's like winning off of someone else's name.
Yeah.
He didn't build his own thing. He doesn't have his own thing. He's literally just hating on another human being.
Sounds about also accurate in today's world.
It's so bizarre to me. And I think Mike Tyson said it best. Like, people can say whatever they want behind a keyboard, and they don't get hit.
Dude. I know.
It's because they don't get hit. Imagine when we were growing up, if you said something stupid, someone would at least like push you or something.
Push you.
Like now, you can't even do that.
Yeah.
Now you'll get expelled from every school in the state if you do something like that. It's just, it's crazy times we're living in, and it's pretty awkward to have like some freedoms, and then other freedoms just taken away.
Yeah, I know. I got super heated a couple weekends ago at a Christmas party, talking to an Army vet, or not a vet. He's an Army guy. He's currently in. I think he said like 15 to 17 years in. So he's in. And we were talking about how he was forced to get to make the choice to get vaccinated or not. And I just thought it was so ironic, right? Like we can run around in circles all day long talking about vax, not vax, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. But someone that is wearing a United States military uniform that signed up for whatever their reason is, but ultimately our military, is there to protect America, right? Yeah. To be able to give us the freedoms, the lives that we are so accustomed to here. And that's what that uniform represents. It doesn't matter if you're Army, Navy, Marine Corps, Coast Guard, Air Force, it doesn't matter. That's what that uniform represents. And for the fact that this guy had to be essentially backed into a corner and make the choice. I'm 17 years in. I'm 3 years away from my retirement. Like, do I fight it? Or do I just, basically say, well, I'll just take one for the team because the last 17 years of my life would be a waste if not.
Yeah, I'll do this.
If you're relying on those benefits, if you're relying on that pension, that retirement that he's going to get for his family, if you're relying on the things that you need for like assessment, like for me when I went to school, like the GI Bill, if you're relying on all those things and you're being freaking forced into that corner and saying, hey, get this or you're getting discharged. Like, I got so freaking mad. I don't really, like, politics and all that crap, I don't usually get a rise out of me. Yeah. Like, I'll think, like, how dumb it is in my head, but it doesn't usually get, like, my blood boiling. I legitimately could have freaking Hulk smashed this state. I was so mad.
But then people talk about all the time, and I'm a big proponent of this, is I always say, like, it sounds cheesy, but be the change that you want to see. Like, if you don't like something, you go change it.
For sure.
But what happens when you can't? Like, what do you do when you can't fight? What do you do when you can't?
That's the thing, man, is like people are being forced into that decision. He made the decision for himself. Like, I don't want to risk the last 17 years of what I've done, and I need this for my family. Great, get it. But the fact is you were forced into that.
When he was against it.
Yeah, when you're in a uniform that's literally representing the freedoms of America.
Yeah.
Like, I forget how I said it, but basically, with how this is going and the stories I've been hearing from other military members, I would be ashamed. This is a bold statement. I would be ashamed to put that uniform back on right now. I would not put that uniform back on right now. If that's how you're going to treat them, that's how this world is coming to, or this country is coming to, I would not put that damn uniform back on.
That's crazy.
It literally triggered something in me where I was like, that's embarrassing. That's awful. I don't know, man. It like stirred something up where I was just like, I think a part of me that I know it sounds so cheesy and lame, but that was like so dormant and like dead for so long, like that deep inside fight that I used to have that was gone because you don't need to have it living in Orange County.
Yeah.
It like awoken it, dude. And now in the last like couple weeks, I've had certain circumstances where I've just been like, I don't freaking care. Whatever. Like,
but you can't. I think there's so much growth in that. And I think as long as if you identify that and you funnel that energy into something positive, because it's easy just to be a jackass and go do something stupid.
Yeah.
And be like, screw these people. Yeah. But if you can funnel that energy, it's like fighters. Fighters are scared every time they step into the ring. But you still go out there and compete. And so you're turning that into something positive. You're going out there and doing what you love. And I think if you can turn that energy into something, I'm not saying that you're going to do anything negative. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying let that emotion of being upset and let that fuel you into doing something. Like, maybe we need to have more military personnel in here so that they can talk about their stance and why.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to fight for something and then you can't even talk about where you stand for it, it's an oxymoron.
Yeah.
It's just dumb.
Well, there's like a thing, it's like going back to the military, I saw, again, I didn't fully research this, but I saw it late last night or this morning, I don't remember, it's all a blur now. But a bunch of Navy SEALs not wanting to get vaccinated, and they're basically saying no. And now I saw something about like, oh, they're not going to do anything to them, you know, like, well, yeah, go ahead, kick all the Navy SEALs out that don't want to get it, kick all our military out that doesn't want to get it, and see what happens.
You might as well let every terrorist in.
Yeah, like when the country goes through something, God forbid, and want all these people back, and it's like, it just made me so mad. I'm still mad. Like anytime I think about it, I get pissed again.
It's like the whole defund the police, and then people were complaining that there's robberies and people were taken.
The highest crime rates ever.
Yeah, like come on, man. Yeah. There's just there are certain things that that blow my mind when it comes to things like that, where it's like, how do people think that way? There's things that are just common sense that you would think are common sense.
Yeah.
Like, is there some bad apples? For sure. There's some guys that are jerks. Yeah. Like there's some guys that host podcasts that are probably just jerks. but it's there's not every coffee shop owner is like as nice as you or as welcoming or whatever. They just want to make their money. They want to sell their coffee and get out. They don't want to talk to the customers. They don't want to motivate their team. They don't want to do anything. They just want in there. You work for me. You're at the register. You're making the coffee. I'm out.
Yeah.
That's not. There's bad apples in anything. So it's like, how do we as humans or as people, how do we go and change that? And that's always been the hardest thing for me is like, when I first started going to church, people were always like, just give it to God. Just pray about it. I was like, I don't know how.
Yeah.
Like, how do you do it? How do I, like, I know it says in the Bible to like, his yoke is easy and burdens, and put all the weight on him. And it's like, how do you do that? I don't know how to do that because I'm super controlling and I'm very stubborn. And if I want to do something, I'm probably going to do it. And so it's like, how do you just say, no, God, this is yours? How do you, when you can't fight for something, how do you fight for something? How do you stand for something? And I think that's one of my goals for this year is to really know, like, because we have a platform, whether it's 2 listeners or 2 million, there are people, we have a platform where we can positively impact people. And so especially like when we have guests on, I don't want people to come in here, I just worked really hard and got really successful. Like, cool. Yeah. Everyone works hard.
Yeah.
Everyone can work hard. What did you do? Like, how can we be a resource? I know we say it all the time, but like, how can we be a resource to the listeners? Like, how do you do something? Not just go out and do this. Cool. Like, go out and do this, and this is how you do it, and I'm going to show you how you do it, and run with it however you want. It's up to you to do that. Like, you can, I can tell someone in here, I talked to someone yesterday, and they're like, I want to start a podcast. Go do it. I was like, go use your space, test it out, see how you like it, and then go do it. I don't know if I have time. And you don't want to do it.
Yeah, because you got to make time.
I'm giving you the resources to do it.
Yeah. So
if you don't want to do it, like what they say, if you really want to do something, you'll find a way, and if you don't, you'll find an excuse.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
99% of people find the excuse, not the way.
It's like, I don't, coming in here, running late, having to take clothes to my son for pictures, not having gas. But we still got to do this. We committed to having an episode every Wednesday. So it's like, we got to do it. And yes, today's Wednesday, and yes, I'm going to edit it, and then yes, we'll have it by like noon.
But it's Wednesday.
On Wednesday.
Wednesday.
It's not Thursday, it's not Friday.
Made it
and so, that's my biggest goal. And I think for the podcast too, is like, I want to have more genuine, conversations. I want to have more real people. It doesn't always have to be a big name. Like, just so you guys know, like, we're going to have George Bernal back on. And like, after the podcast, we had a great first episode, awesome recording. After the podcast, we sat and talked for like another 30 or 40 minutes, and he opened up more, he shared more, and I was like, bro.
I know we literally both were like, why didn't you share that?
Yeah, like that's a whole nother episode.
Yeah. There was like the nitty gritty, like the real truths.
Yeah.
And it was something that's like, oh dang, that's pretty dope. No, that's a good goal. My goal is to get censored at some point. So
nice.
We're on it.
Down.
Just kidding.
We'll go with you.
My man. I got a real job.
That was cool. Yeah, you got a real job. All right, guys. Well, remember to like, share, and subscribe. Also, you guys can start leaving reviews.
Yeah, we've just found that out.
Yeah, I didn't. It's like
technology challenge person.
Algorithm and all that stuff. So Share it, guys. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the support. And here's to an awesome 2022.
2022.
All right. Just remember that everything was impossible until someone did it.
So, guys, remember to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. You can find us on YouTube at youtube.com/The Fight Within Podcast. Find us on all audio platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, anywhere you guys like to listen to it. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for continuing to listen to it and watch it. We can see the growth on our analytics, and just want to thank you guys for supporting us.